Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today as we explore one of the most intriguing investment moves of the moment, Michael Burry's latest contrarian bet in a world awash with optimism. Michael Burry, famed for his role in the 2008 housing crisis and immortalized in the film The Big Short, has resurfaced with a fresh warning and a bold move. He is not simply calling a market correction. He is placing large put option bets against two of the most heralded names in the AI era, Nvidia Corporation and Palantir Technologies. According to filings, his hedge fund Scion Asset Management holds put options equivalent to roughly 1 million Nvidia shares and 5 million Palantir shares in the quarter ending September 30, 2025. That means a total bearish exposure of about $1.1 billion, representing some 80% of his $1.38 billion portfolio at that time. Why does this matter? First, it signals that Burry believes the AI-fueled market surge may be entering bubble territory, and he expects these leading companies may suffer when the tide turns. Second, when someone famous for being right during a crisis bets hard against top stocks, the market pays attention, whether for validation or to spot a potential turning point. Third, the companies he's targeting are among the most exalted names of the current cycle, the AI hardware king and the data analytics/AI platform specialist. Their valuations reflect sky-high optimism. Let's walk through the narrative. Michael Burry rose to fame by predicting the U.S. housing market collapse, placing large bets on subprime mortgage bonds when few believed him. His legacy is one of contrarian insight and identifying bubbles before they burst. Over the years, he has grown cautious about speculative bubbles, publicly declaring that sometimes the only winning move is not to play. In October 2025, he posted on X, formerly Twitter, a still from the movie War Games, with the words, "Sometimes we see bubbles. Sometimes there is something to do about it. Sometimes the only winning move is not to play." He thereby likened the current market to a game where abstention may be the best strategy. He also changed his profile name to Cassandra Unchained, referencing the mythological figure who foretold doom but was not believed, and updated his header to depict the tulip mania of the 1600s. These are powerful symbolic gestures that emphasize his concern about a speculative frenzy in AI and tech stocks. The target of his concern, the exuberance around AI, infrastructure, cloud, hardware, data analytics, especially the belief that companies like Nvidia and Palantir will grow unchecked. His thesis, valuations are far ahead of fundamentals, and expectations may outpace reality. For Nvidia, valuations soared to unprecedented levels amid the AI hardware boom. Palantir, meanwhile, has surged dramatically on expectations of enterprise AI adoption and government contracting. Burry's put options express his belief that these rises may unwind, that instead of linear upside, there may be sharp downside when expectations collide with reality. A put option gives the holder the right, but not the obligation, to sell the underlying at a set price. If the stock falls, the put becomes more valuable. Burry is using this to bet on a decline, making a directional statement about the market. Because the notional size is large and the concentration is extreme, this is not a casual hedge, it is a full-blown strategic bet. Now, what are the underlying assumptions driving this move? 1. That growth expectations are too optimistic. 2. That AI hardware hype is outpacing real earnings growth or business traction. 3. That macro risks or execution risks could trigger reversals in these high-flying stocks. In his posts, Burry highlighted charts showing tech capital expenditure surging to levels reminiscent of the 1999 to 2000 tech bubble, while actual growth in cloud infrastructure was slowing. He sees parallels to past tech and telecom busts, massive investment with underutilization, eventually leading to a crash. From a market commentary view, Burry's move invites a broader question for your audience. Are we at the tail end of an AI hardware and tech mania rather than the beginning of a multi-decade run? Let's turn to the risks he's implicitly warning about. 1. Supply chain bottlenecks, costs, and chip cycle timing. Even if demand remains, margins may compress. 2. Alternative architectures could challenge Nvidia's dominance in AI hardware. 3. Execution risk in AI adoption. Palantir may face hurdles in scaling enterprise AI solutions. Let's also look at the counter-arguments. Many investors believe we are only at the beginning of AI, that hardware demand will grow for years, and that these stocks will continue to rise. The question, who's correct, the optimists or the contrarians? For your YouTube audience, this is a fantastic story. Contrarian legend Michael Burry makes a bold bet against the tech and AI crowd. It has drama, scale, risk, and echoes of past market cycles. You could frame your video, Michael Burry versus the AI bull run, is he calling the top? Or, why Burry is betting $1 billion against Nvidia and Palantir. In your narration, highlight how Burry's background lends credibility. He predicted the housing collapse, routinely signals when markets get frothy, and now uses symbolism to warn of bubbles. Walk through the facts, Scion's filings, put sizes, stocks targeted, what those bets mean in dollar terms, how much of his portfolio is dedicated to them. Explain the broader context, AI hardware boom, Nvidia surge, Palantir's rally, investor FOMO, flow into tech megacaps, narrow market leadership, all of which set the stage for his move. Explain his thesis, valuation stretched, risk of disappointment, and the possibility that the only prudent move is to stay out or bet against. Also unpack the risks of his strategy. If he is wrong, these stocks could continue to rise and his puts could lose value. Being contrarian is risky, even for legendary investors. For your audience, remind that great investors aren't always early, sometimes they're early and wrong for a while. Timing matters. Also remind viewers that following someone else's hedge fund isn't a free ticket. Understanding the thesis, time frame, and risk is essential. In summary, Michael Burry is sending a message and backing it up with significant financial bets. Whether he's right or wrong will depend on how the AI investment cycle plays out. It will also depend on how valuations adjust and whether execution meets expectations. For viewers, keep your eyes on the next earnings reports from Nvidia and Palantir. Check how much hardware demand they report. Look for signs of margin pressure. Monitor broader tech investment flows. Also watch capital flows. If investors stop chasing AI stocks and rotate to other sectors, Burry's bet may look prescient. If the rally intensifies, his bet may look premature. Timing is everything in contrarian investing. Ultimately, this is not just a story about two stocks, it's a story about market psychology, hype cycles, and the tension between structural change and speculative excess. Thank you for listening and helping your audience understand Michael Burry's latest move, not just as a headline, but as a narrative about caution in a world enamored by technology and growth. I look forward to tracking with you how this plays out, whether we witness a correction, a consolidation, or surprising further upside. We will watch to see how Burry's contrarian instincts hold up in an era where AI is the defining theme of the market.